My name is Nathan and welcome to The Big Ring. I'm joined by Andrew from @HuttoAHDR and Rob, aka the Zwifty Zwifter. In this episode, we roast my semi-final ZRL race, discuss race tactics and profiles, talk about the Chasing Tour 2023 series, and look at some April Fool's jokes. All right, Rob. So you had some thoughts on how I could have done this better.
Nathan, you're one of my favorite riders. I love you. Favorite YouTuber. But it's nearly Sunday in England, and I'm going to give you my Sunday roast.
A Sunday roast.
Sunday roast. This is where it is. Now, first of all, I should say that you look magnificent. You've got the look down to an absolute T. You got the tan, you got the clothes, you've got the gear. You look absolutely amazing. But the race wasn't great.
Thank you for the build-up before you shoot me down.
Okay, so we're on the start line of the Zwift Racing League. I won't go over the scoring details of the Zwift Racing League. Everyone should know the score. We're on the start line.
Let's do this, yeah.
Get ready to go. And I think Zwift has actually put in a little delay so that for the first second or two, your power doesn't count. But here we are, and we're putting out 544 watts, and you're going nowhere. Okay, so we're going nowhere, and off we go. Okay, so I'm not 100% sure what. So there's unusually for ZRL, there's a sprint right at the start. So only 400 meters into it, there's a sprint, and everyone's going for the points. Now, I'm not sure where you stand in the sprinters. I would imagine you're in the sort of mid-teens of the top sprinters in this group. But so we're going for the points, are we? So we set off, and we need to hit it hard here before this little downhill. We're in about 11th position, so we either need to go for it or abort at this stage. But we keep going hard-ish, and the sprinters go past, and you end up 13th in the sprint. So what was going through your head there?
To be honest, I didn't realize how certain the segment was coming up. I should have researched that a little bit better than I did. And then the Aero Big Skies, who had been leading, definitely in round 3, had just smashed it straight out of the gate. Like you saw that start just then, and
yeah.
I'm pushing 7-8 watts per kilo, and there's 10 guys already in front of me. And so then the thought process for me was, well, I better put enough power in just to stay on. Otherwise, that group's away and forget about any other points after that.
Okay, so I would say if you're in the top third of any of the front group, then you're fine. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so 70 in the race, you want to be about 20th. So, okay, you put out a bit too much power there, I would say. But okay, let's carry on. So, as you come out of the sprint, little point here, but you're going 57, 58, it's -3, you could get a super tuck. But never mind, little point.
Yeah.
And then you come out and you're 11th, we're perfectly safe, we should be heading towards the back. But we're going to the front! We're going to the front! We're going to win the race on the third corner. Okay. I wasn't going even further ahead. Okay, we've got the truck. We've got to ease off now. Okay, we're perfectly safe. We're fine. We're heading backwards. No, we're not heading backwards. Okay, right. No, we're perfectly safe now. Oh, we used the truck! Oh, it's the worst point in the race to use the truck. It's a 30-second segment coming up, and we've used the 30-second power up. Okay. Oh, we're at the front now. We're at the front again. Yes, we're chasing this guy down, and I don't know why we chased him down. But right, Huddy, you're a teacher. What is 2 times nothing? Because you're getting double draft on 0 now.
Nothing.
2 times nothing is nothing. Okay. So off we go into the segment, and we've now used our power up. but we do get the secret power up, which I informed you of beforehand.
Now, I did
which
remember that you told me about this.
is here. So we get the secret power up, and we get, what do we get? We get the feather. It's pretty good. We're still towards the front, a bit too far forward, I would say. And we approach the segment, and up we go. Yeah. Now, I'm not sure if we're going for points here or not, but
yeah,
if we go, you're going for points. Okay, cool. So we've got points. We need to hit this hard. Hit it hard now. Oh, we hit it medium hard, less hard than we hit the start when we weren't moving, but we're hitting it reasonably hard. Okay, come across, and yes. What did you score there? Did you get a point?
2 points.
2 points. Woo!
That was it.
Okay,
Race.
so we're in the race, and we're easily safe now. We're in the top 10. 20 are going to survive, always. Top third. Cool, we can stop pedaling. We can stop pedaling now, Nathan. Okay, we hit this. Okay, we hit this hard. We're going to take the front again. We're winning the race. We're nearly winning the race again. Okay, for some reason, we're right at the front. Okay, survival mode is gone. We're just trying to win the race here and now. Okay, well, we've got the truck. We're saved up for the champion sprint. We're cool. We're more than saved. Excellent. Here we go. Okay, we're into these little rollers, and we're going to hit a big downhill now, and we can just stop it. Thank God for that. You look in real trouble. What? We've used the truck! We've used the truck now! It's the worst point in the race to use the truck! You can just super tuck and you don't need a pedal. Okay, we don't need a pedal now because we've got the drafting truck. Okay, we're pedaling. We're at 330. What? We're heading forwards again, and we've used our arrow, and we're going to go into the segment without a power up. Okay, Nathan, come on. What? Why'd you use the arrow there?
I'm trying to remember now. The truck, it would have been because I would have been just in pain, and I was doing everything just to hang on and recover. And so I thought, well, we're hitting a flat. We've come in, we've hit a flat. I'm going to use it, try and recover before we hit that next bump, and then reassess the situation coming into the second lap.
Just hope everything's going to be fine.
Yeah. Yeah, you look at that face. That's not a face of someone who's in control.
Yeah, it's like, I think it's the face of someone who's suddenly realised that they're.
Yeah.
In a serious question though, before we move on, like we're roasting Nathan about going to the front and all that sort of stuff. But
yes.
It's hard when you're racing to think that you're not going to get dropped off the back in that draft, and sometimes you feel that you're right at the back and that you're just going to lose that connection, I guess, between that and the main group all the time. So you push that a little bit further, where I guess one of the things that I've been after watching your videos, Robert, is to have a little bit more faith in that draft to be able to reattach all the time.
Yeah. Do either of you play blackjack?
No.
I have done, yeah.
I'm a bit of a gambler, so I was in the past anyway. So I played blackjack quite a lot, and it's where you see people playing big money blackjack, and they play like idiots. So you've got 16, say, against a 10. So 16 against 10. Now you're gonna lose more often than not. So what you have to do is you have to take a bit of a risk. Now, if you take a card, you've got a 5 to 13 chance that it's going to work out okay. You've got 5 cards which are going to not bust you, and 8 cards which are. But you've got to go with. It's actually more risky to do nothing than to do something, and this is this sort of scenario where it's actually more risky to put on the power than it is to let off the power.
Yeah, okay.
You're gonna have to put it down eventually. You need to catch up, and the times not to put it down is certainly when you're going downhill. Yeah, so you need that rest now, because you need that. You're gonna need that power now. The less risky time was when you're on the start, when you're going downhill. When you're on the backs of people.
Yeah.
And because you're gonna need it at some stage. you know, we've all done this kind of stuff.
Mm.
But I just want to help people, you know, try and focus their mind and say, okay, now's the time to rest because I'm going to need it on that bump. I'm going to need it on that sprint.
Well, you know, and Andrew, you're right when you're sort of saying that too, because top 5 or 10 races in every race seem to be pushing that front harder and harder each and every time. And yeah, so in my mind, I'm thinking like you were just suggesting, which is if I ease off even a little bit, I'll slide back to the middle of the pack. This front pack will leave or will gap. And, you know, that's it. You're just riding for finishing points then. So that was going through my mind too. So in my mind, I'm just saying, hang on the front. So that's sort of part of the reasoning for pretty average ride.
I hope I'm not upsetting you too much.
No, I'm loving this. This is great.
Okay, let's go into the champion sprint. So we're already in trouble. Yeah, you can see it in your eyes. You know something bad's going to happen here.
Yeah.
Now, when you're going into the sprint, what you need to do is get on the draft of those who are going the fastest. Not only do you need to be in the draft, but you need to front end your effort. And there's a little dip here where you should be further back and then heading forward. Yeah, if you're at the back of the group, you put down some power before the little drop, and then you'd be fine. But you're down at 200-300. You know, it's not enough. It's not enough. You've got that power because you start to put it down after they've gone. They've already gone, and you're playing catch up. You're doing like the opposite of what's needed because now they're gone, and you're having to put down real big power. You're putting out more power now than when they left you.
Yeah. And that's honestly, that was again where I just wasn't that familiar with the course and didn't realize that next segment was coming around that left hand and it was so close. So I went, and they were already surging ahead and I'm trying to then play catch up. And of course, then mentally, as we come back around that right hander, I see that, you know, the tail of that front group stretching right out. And now I'm thinking, I've lost the front.
No, you haven't. You're safe. At this point, you're safe.
Yeah.
You've got a couple of riders with you. You're in the draft. You're getting 170 draft. They're going to slow down before the segment. They've got no one's going to race away and try and win the segment from here. Yeah. So you're safe here. So hitting the arrow here again, bad power up usage, I'd say.
Yep.
Especially, and then we're looking away, and then. I mean, you're so safe that the arrow actually brings you all the way to the front, and you look away again. You've got to concentrate. You've got to be absolutely focused, and we're winning the race again! Yay! and I think I missed it there, but I think the draft's down to 0 again. We're getting to 0 now. That draft arrow power up, the best power up in the game, got you to the front. But there we go. Okay. Clyde Kicker, second lap. Now, if you'd used that arrow a little bit later, if you'd used it, say, here as you go under the bridge, then it would have carried you. If you'd been at the back and it carried you, you know, nicely into the bridge, but otherwise, now you've got to start your effort now, whereas you could have, you know, shortened that effort by having the arrow still active here. Now, you've got the truck. Corner. Okay. It's a 30-second segment. You've got the truck. You can use it all the way. You can use it now. You can definitely use it now. Now is definitely the time. If ever there was a time to use this bloody power up, it is now. Oh my God! Now you're thinking about getting dropped, aren't you? You're thinking, I want it afterwards, so I don't get dropped. Yeah, so I don't get dropped afterwards. But you're getting dropped now. This is when you're getting dropped, or you were getting dropped like 5 seconds ago. There's the race going away because you didn't. It didn't. And they're gone. They're gone.
Yep.
Okay. So now now it's big trouble. Yeah, there's no like emergency time. What you really need, if you know you've got a bump coming up, what you really need is the feather power up. That's the only thing that can. You've got the feather. Yes.
Yeah.
But this bump coming up, all you need to do. Stop pedaling. Stop pedaling, Nathan. Stop pedaling when you're going downhill, so you can hit this hard. Oh no, we've gone down to 0. We went down to 0.9 there. As you're hitting the final bump, hit that feather. hit the power, and you'll be fine. But you don't really. 1.4.
And so I don't hit the feather and I don't power and
Okay, one more chance. Oh, you're nearly on. You've got big draft. You're just on the tail of them. One last chance. One last bump. Just hit the feather now. I think in the comments. Oh, we hit it just as we crest. Just as we're getting to the top. Oh, and there they go. The feathers, at least the feathers active on this big car. We keep pedaling downhill to make sure. We're shaking the head.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, Nate. I do love you, but
it's so crystal clear now when you look back at it like that.
Yes, it's easy when you're.
But having that clarity to think of all those things as you're racing around takes a real practice, doesn't it? Like to be able to read the terrain in terms of the course, know when to do your power ups, when they're going to come in, your distance between there and the leaders in front of you, all those little things. You know that takes practice to be able to read that. And Rob, you obviously are able to see that when you race.
Well, no, I mean I did. Do you remember I think it was the round before in CRL, we did the one in Mercury, it was like Spinter's Playground or something like that. Which one was it? I can't remember. And it was only because I recorded it. I did almost exactly the same as you on the first sprint, where I kind of went for it, and I was sort of putting it in. Oh no, I sort of forgot about where it started, and then really went for it. And I was going nowhere. I was in 60th position. Like sprinting for my life. I was like, you're not going to win the sprint in 60th position. You started after the segment started. And I honestly didn't remember that I'd done that. It was only when I watched my recording back, I was like, what the heck? You know, I was like, what are you playing at, man? You don't really mess it up. Abort, just stay safe. But I was like, no, I'm gonna win.
And it's
so I know it's like in the heat of the moment, it's not easy, is it?
Yeah,
it's it's the points as well. So in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, it's a team thing. You got to try and fight for the points where you can, and even if you're still 16, if you're in a large enough group and you can put the power down, you can do like maybe a fastest through segment and get some points there. And that's my thinking. But clearly that's been the wrong way of doing it.
Well, I'm not saying it's the wrong way, but I was about the 15th strongest sprinter in that same race in the B group, but I was the second highest point scorer because I just ignored the first sprint pretty much. I was just like, stay safe. And then the second one I did go for because I got good power ups. Got the truck on the first one, but also I got the truck to lead me halfway up, and then the feather, which is ideal. I used the double drop. Like I used the truck just before the bridge, and then I used the feather on the up, and it was magical. And virtually no one used those power ups.
It was magical.
But I was deliberately not, and then I didn't go for the champion sprint, and then I just kind of held on, and then in the second half of the race, I was just second to a guy who, let's say, he could easily be A. Let's say that.
Oh yeah.
But I was the second highest point scorer, even though I was the 15th strongest sprinter.
Wow. So you were telling me you got another video there that you wanted to go through?
Okay, so this is what I call a tactical split, whereby I deliberately try and contribute towards or engineer a split in the group. So here, 3 or 4 riders have gotten away, but they've got no chance of succeeding. We've got a big descent before the finish. There's still 5k to go. So I go to the front, but then I back off the power and deliberately contribute towards the group getting away a bit. Now, this only really works if it's far enough away from the finish that it isn't a genuine danger. If it's got some of the opponents who potentially win the race, both in the front group and the back group, because you want your genuine opponents to be the ones who are working. If everyone who's potentially going to win the race is in the front, then it doesn't really, well, it maybe benefits a bit, but it's ideal if you've got potential winners in the front and potential winners in the back.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, how did it play out? Well,
your hands
like
are
a
up,
what?
so that's always a good thing.
Actually, it is a nice ending. Actually, should we watch it? I remember this one now. So he's skeleton wheels. I think he's one of the ones. And it's Simon Flintstone as well. You know him, don't you?
No, who's that?
That's Fred's brother.
You said he's a good racer.
He's got the stone wheels on his bike.
And just using the feet?
Yeah, that's the one.
I was sure you said you knew him, but yeah, I did nice sprint up breakaway Bray. Oh, there we go. Look at that. Take him on the line, and he was one of the ones who was working.
Oh, and perfect power up usage as well.
Oh, was it? I didn't notice. No, I have got another one.
Look at that face.
Which
eh?
is similar but smaller group. So this one is also in Scotland. It's the Muckle Yin. Okay, so in this race, this is the Muckle Yin. We just finished the second climb, and I'm up against this guy in the red, who's Alex Side, and he's got a 15 watt per kilogram sprint. And this guy in the lead is Kerouac, and he's got awesome endurance, but not as great a sprint. So I think that Side is really, now that we've finished the climb, he's the one that I've got to deal with. So as we're coming towards the, as we're coming out of the descent, I think, right, Side should chase him down. I'm not going to chase him down.
Yeah.
So I deliberately back off power, went down to 77 watts, and just watch Side catch him back up. But he doesn't really. He deliberately, I think, probably deliberately leaves a bit of a gap.
Yeah.
And I think, well, okay, you want to leave a gap? I'll leave a gap. Kind of back off again as I see him pulling away with his feather. And then this only really works if Kerouac is a bit of a threat. It's not an insult to him to let him get away. And then I think, oh no, I took it out and decided to sprint after him. Partly because there's also someone from behind coming up. There's a Danish guy. So that was just a nice little dance that we did. But the other point I wanted to talk about was about making the race about your strengths. So although Side is stronger 1 minute and stronger sprinter, he's a much stronger 15-second guy than me, whereas a little bit better 1 minute guy than me. So if I add in the element of surprise, then maybe I can take it. So it's the Glasgow circuit again, back where you had such fun. And as we approach the little bump, oh, hit it! And although Side gets on it pretty quickly, those couple of seconds, and he puts out actually more power than me in the final 30 and the final minute, but just putting out a little too late leads to me taking the victory, I think.
Wow.
It's pretty close, and he was pretty annoyed afterwards that he didn't trust me, even though he was going, I put out more power than him. Why didn't I catch him? Like, too late. She'll be the cry.
You snooze, you lose. Yeah, there he is. Yeah. Oh, that was awesome. That was, just things you don't see. And I mean, Hutto, you would get this as well. I mean, how many times you look back at your own race that you've recorded and you've just completely missed something that was so incredibly obvious.
Oh yeah, all the time. Or you, in the moment, you think you haven't got enough power, you haven't got enough legs, and you sit back down on the bike, and don't make that catch or whatever, and then you watch that back and you go, man, I should have done that. I you know, watching it back, you sort of then realise how close you were to making that break or making that catch or whatever. And it was only an extra 2 seconds worth of effort you have to put into doing it. Things like that, I think sometimes, or where you're taking off for your sprints and stuff like that. You know, like what you just did there with your jump and stuff like that. If I'd gone at that point in the race, I would have potentially made that gap or that break.
Yeah,
I think it's a really great tool to be able to watch your races back and then see where they are.
Yeah. I bet Side will never be caught at that bump again. Do you reckon?
Yeah, but even if he does find himself back there, I mean, every race is different as well. So that's the thing I kind of struggle with too, which is like now every time I go into the Glasgow Crit, I'll have that ZRL race playing in my mind and potentially misread the whole race again because it might be slower riders. There could be other riders that are better at certain segments. And I'm thinking, Swifty said to do this. And I go and do that. And all of a sudden I'm, 15 meters off the front. And and blowing up. So I don't know. That's I always find it's difficult to read.
It's an process, isn't it? You learn one thing, and then actually, the opposite is true the next time, and you have to calibrate,
readjust. Yeah. But not that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, but going back to playing on your strengths and stuff like that, like I'm not a out-and-out sprinter, I wouldn't say. I think there's plenty of people that in their Commodores team that were stronger sprinters than I were. So in our ZRL series, I wouldn't necessarily go hard in the sprints for the first couple of laps. I would just stick to that front group, let the other guys try and get those points. And my strength, I guess, is more of that endurance type of thing where I'll try and look at doing those sprints or fastest through segments later on in the third or the fourth lap and and then be up the front for the finishing points. So I'm playing to my strengths in that thing rather than trying to burn matches on a sprint that I may get 16th or 20th or whatever and not work for me. So I think you've got to work, as you say, work to what you've got as well.
Play to your strength, wherever it is. I mean, I don't know what more that Kerouac guy could have done, pushed harder on the climbs or wherever, but sometimes you just can't make it about what your strength is to win. If it's a flat race and you haven't got a sprint, then there's not much you can do really. But when or if it's up Fox Hill like the stage 4A 4B was or wherever, and Z Race in London, you can't avoid. You've just got to, it's your 7-minute power or wherever it is. But if you can make it about what where your strength is, then do so.
Yeah. And Swifty, how often do you, when you go and look at a race, do you look at the races that are racing and sort of have a quick look at their power profiles, or
not almost every time? And if I haven't got time in advance, I actually do it during the race. So lots of my videos, you'll see me looking at my phone and I'm looking at, in this front group, who's got the biggest sprint? Has anyone got the biggest sprint than me? Is the main thing I'm looking at.
Right.
Is there, and if they have, is their 1 minute power also good? Can I make a long sprint or should I make a short sprint?
Do we want to talk about Tour, Andrew? We've got this fourth stage of the Classic coming up tonight.
Yes. 4 laps? 5 laps of the 2015 UCI course around Richmond.
4 laps, yeah.
4 laps. And that's going to be hard work. Obviously, we've got the flat part at the beginning of that course, and then we got the 2 climbs on the back end of that. And I think that because of the group start that we normally have, where everybody goes out together from A through to D, I think the most part we'll have our strong C's will be hanging on to that group of A's and B's. And I think that group will work together till we hit that first cobbled climb down the back, and I can't remember what that's called, but the one, if you've ridden that course, we've only just done it recently.
So is it the one where it goes Louis Hill, Broad Street, and then
I'm just about to bring that up now, actually.
So I think Louis Hill is going to be the first break of everything. I think the A's are just going to go streaming off the front there, and I think the strong B's may still stay on there. So I reckon there's going to be a split between the B's and C's, perhaps. So there'll be a group of B C's and a group of A B's, and then the next few laps after that, I think the A's will split off from the remaining Bs. Potentially those BCs might split again. But yeah, that's going to be a war of attrition on those two climbs, the Libby Hill at the back end there, and then that following one up that street, 23rd Street climb.
Yeah, what are your thoughts, Rob, on those two climbs, those two little punchy climbs?
Good luck. What can you do? It's the punchy climb. You just save as much energy as you can going into it.
Yeah.
Front end it, hit that first corner where it goes up to like 16%, put everything in there and just try and hold on. It's just there's no hiding up that climb.
No. It's I was actually watching Peter Sagan when he did that and on the breakaway on the 23rd Street.
Yeah.
That's just mental.
That's one of the best bits of cycling ever, isn't it?
Yeah. No, that was incredible.
I think you raised a key point there, Rob. And I watched back one of, I think it was either mine or Nathan's race on this course that we did not long ago.
Mm-hmm.
And we're coming up to that hairpin. I was sort of drafting in the back of that group all the way down on the flat towards that hairpin on the back corner. And what I should have done is pushed really hard into it was on the last lap, and to the finish was at that on that 23rd Street comm. Is I should have pushed to the front on the corner and gone hard through the corner and worked harder on the whole way up the comm rather than sitting in the pack waiting for the comm marker to come up and then going hard, because the other group of the guys at the front had already had that break on me to go. And I should have been on the front group, the front part of that group, or towards the front more to make that a more successful finish.
Well, one thing with the 23rd Street is the descent into that. If you're in a group, you can get enough power to. Obviously, you can get a super tuck into that. And if you're in a big enough group, you can actually cruise through and get another super tuck into the bottom of the 23rd Street climb.
Yep.
So, yeah, Libby Hill. Yeah. And see how so it sort of flattens off at the bottom of the descent after Libby.
Yep.
There's a little flat there, but you can't. So you do stop super tucking, but then there's a little dip down again, as you can see,
just
before
down
the
there.
23rd Street. This is only if you're in a group, but those races are pretty big. So I would imagine first time you can get another little super tuck, and then boom, hit the 23rd Street. Just boom, straight out of the gate, and you can actually carry it through there. So that's one little tip that I've got. But
yeah, okay, yep.
Still
And
bloody
then of
hard.
course, then you've got that big, long drag coming back out of it
I
again.
hate that climb. I hate it.
Yeah, and it's got that right hander, and it's still going up. Left hander, sorry, and it's still going up.
Horrible.
Yeah.
It's worse than epic for me. I've never had a good result on that climb. I hate it.
And we've got 4 laps of this.
Yeah, I reckon they're going to push on those sprints like they do too, even though they're not worth points. They always seem to ramp up on the group ramps up on those sprints as we go through there. So there's going to be a couple of points there as well.
I think it's probably those the A's and the high MBs trying to shake the tree a little bit.
Yep.
And drop a few riders that they don't want to have to compete with coming into those 2 climbs.
Yeah, they'll try and get rid of your power-ups and stuff like that. I've even noticed people like accelerating after the banners, and I think that is
okay.
a deliberate ploy. Okay, you've got a power-up now. If I just push off a bit, maybe they'll use their power-ups. They use their power-ups, and then there's stuff for when they need them.
Yeah, good point. So what do we think on bike choices then?
Oh, I know I've asked you about this, and I think you were leaning towards the Tron and stuff like
I'm
that. The other one,
definitely leaning towards the Tron on this one.
Yeah, I did think about whether I go with the Venge or a Scott with some all-rounder wheels on it, but I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into the bike choice and stuff like that, and at the end of the day, it's neither here nor there.
Oh, look, over a 50k race, I think, and especially one like this, it can add up to, lots of seconds, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're scratching for everything you can get, those few extra seconds help. And if you're towards the front coming after Libby, then it just helps you mentally, I think, coming into the next climb. You're not sort of thinking, well, that's it, I'm off the back, There's no point in me trying to, to keep pushing, because as we know in this tour, that there's points on offer for all, like finishing points for everyone that's in the race, but after 16th spot, it's a set number of points then.
Yeah.
So there's no point if you're 23rd or 30th or whatever, fighting for position on the, that's right, on the standings. It doesn't change anything.
No.
So it's definitely going to be a big one, and plus there's 500 points on offer tonight. So in these races, so it was but it was interesting. I've been chatting with Mike Hardy, who he's in C with me, and he is second, I think, behind Chestel. Oh, I can't think of his first name. One of the Badgers guys, one of Roy's teammates. And so between them, they've been winning all of their races, first and second. And so I was chatting with him, and I saw that he had entered all 4 of the time zones for this particular race. And I was asking him whether there was a particular strategy he was going with. And he said to me, just quietly, and I probably shouldn't be mentioning this, but he said to me, he goes, well, I'm trying to jump in the race that this other guy's in so they can compete head to head for the points and try and beat him. And so if he enters if he enters all 4 races, then the other guy doesn't know which one he's actually going to be going in.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm like, it's a bit sneaky, but I like that. It's a good strategy.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right, guys. How are we feeling about all this? I'm liking this.
This is good. I just got to get rid of the background noise in my space here, and I'll be all right.
Yeah, that's good.
I've had to mute it, telling them to be quiet about I don't know how many times. They're still just fired up.
I can look at.
I felt like I was talking a bit too much when I was doing my bits, because I was sharing my screen, so I couldn't see if you were talking or wanted to talk.
That was mate. You were doing a great job. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I was really and when you sort of stopped and you're kind of looking for a little bit of feedback, I'm sort of still processing everything you're saying. So that was awesome. I love the Sunday roast. That's a great thing.
Okay.
Yeah, that was good. I think it worked well.
Yeah. All right. So
I think one of the good things about this is that even if other people don't record their races or whatever, for them to be able to watch this and look at the things that we're starting to look at, maybe it might get them to start to think about what's going on with their racing and where they should be doing power ups, etc., and things like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, most people, the only reason I win loads of races is because most people just don't know what to do. I haven't got the most power. I haven't got the biggest sprint. But I do know how to race pretty well, I think. So, and I want more people to enjoy it as much as I do.
Yeah, no, it's like Hutto was saying, like watching your videos, you just see the enjoyment you get out of it, and you're chatting away and having all these single conversations with the other riders. It's really good to watch. I like watching it.
Yeah, I watched loads of your videos, Rob, all around those Scottish courses, because that was coming up for the WTRL series, where the finals were all going to be in there. And so I was watching a lot of yours on the background of that, going, okay, where's he going? What's he doing? Where's he? All your logic and that, and then applying that to my own in some of those races there. So, yeah, I think they're a great tool to use.
Yeah, I did love the Scotland ones. I think I won 9. I think I won 9 of the Scotland ones.
You were just doing them over and over again.
Well, that little bump thing just played into my power perfectly.
Yeah.
Just building on his success rate there. That's what he's doing.
Well, and how many wins has it been now?
How many wins have I got overall?
Yeah.
God knows. Need them for these things. Bloody hell! Look at the size of them.
Yeah, so Zwift have announced that apparently their tandem dating service. What do we think about this? So I actually initially thought, have they introduced tandem bikes? But then saw there was an actually dating service.
Well,
And so it matches people up on their FTPs and all their race metrics. The Tron ownership. Simply put, Tron ownership status needs to match. 2 non-Tron owners, no big deal. 2 Tron owners, perfect. But if you're just looking for jealousy, if only half the couple can ride Zwift's most coveted bike.
Well, that is true.
I don't want to be with a non-Tron owner.
No,
No.
you don't want that.
And
I
that
was
would
the
be
same as
a
you. I only saw the brief come through on Facebook and actually didn't read into it. I just saw the tandem thing and thought, oh yeah, I'll circle back to that later because I was coming into the show and thought the same thing, that it was about having like a tandem bike that you could actually ride with another person of the same ability. So you could have 2 people of the same ability riding a tandem bike. And I thought, hey, that'd actually be really interesting to be able to do that.
Imagine like doing a 2-man TT then on a tandem.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. That'd actually be good fun.
You might be onto something, Hado.
definitely. But I definitely want to be at the back. I don't want to be on the front.
Yeah. So we had that, and then we got where was it? Where'd it go? I'm not sure I can find it now. I've got it here. So I'm just bringing up. No, not that one. This one here.
I should say, if you want me to roast your race, send it in. Nathan will put details in the description.
I'll add, I'll add where to send that to in the description of the video below. I'll include Zwifty's channel and Hado's channel. So if you want to go and check out their videos, you'll see what we're talking about. They're well worth the watch. Very informative and entertaining.
Mine's probably more entertaining than informative.
I'm going with the entertaining side too. I saw this pop up this morning, and so this is in the tour series. This is the chasing tour, the Triple Pretzel. So you can see there that it is.
I must admit, I was slightly sucked into this.
Yeah, I thought, is this a stitch up?
I thought
Because
this was a preview of like one of the stages coming up for like the chasing, red or pink or something. And I was about to comment on the post that you had done, just going, if this is the stage that's coming up, I'm out.
There's no way, right? Like
I'm done.
360 kilometers, and there's 5 people who signed up for it so far, and that's just since it was posted this morning.
Yeah.
On April the 1st, those posted.
Well, you'd have to assume.
About
So.
time they had some proper races. This is a proper race.
I think you should do this, Swifty, and like video it, and then we'll come back and critique it at the end.
Just for the
absolutely.
views. I'll do it just for the views. Just for the content.
Because they had the Pretzel late join. There you go. I think
late join
it'll be,
allowed.
is it?
Can I join like with 30 kilometers to go?
Yeah.
Because what's the Pretzel? How long is that? Is that 70 kilometers or something? Who can tell me that?
Further than I've ever
Uber
rode.
Pretzel?
I have done the pretzel.
Oh, really?
Well, what's the
It's
Mega
too
Pretzel?
long. Whatever it is, it's too long.
I remember you doing that not too long ago, actually.
I haven't
the
done any of
Mega
that long ones.
No, they're all sorts of wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's 107 kilometers for the Mega Pretzel. And that includes the Zwift.com, the Volcano.com, the Epic.com.
Oh.
No, that's not the graph I saw, because the graph I saw had Alpe de Zwift in there as well. Anyway,
That's
that
crazy.
won't be one that I'll be doing, that's for sure. I don't care how many points are on offer for that one.
Might do a fan view.
I might be this one here, actually. It could be the Uber Pretzel. Let me just put that in there. So the Uber, there we go. Includes, is that Alpe de Zwift? Yeah, that at the end there, the big
Oh, yeah.
the big blue.
Yeah.
Yeah. So imagine doing that 2 or 3 times.
1,000 meters or 1,600 meters of elevation.
No.
per lap.
That's, yeah, no,
The
that's
volcano looks tiny.
You'd be able to stomp that, no worries.
There's nearly 5,000 meters of climbing all up.
Oh, that's longer than the real life Audax we have here in Australia on Australia Day weekend. Like there's a 250-kilometer ride that I've done once, and that has, was it 5,000 or 6,000 meters of climbing over 3 mountains.
Yeah.
So yeah, lots of fun.
For somebody
All
else.
right. Yeah, that's right. Well, I haven't done it. I did that about 5 or 6 years ago, and I haven't done it since.
Yeah, sounds horrible.
All right. Hey guys, thanks very much. This has been lots of fun. Hey, thanks for watching. If you got this far and you liked what you're watching, don't forget, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the notifications. You'll get notified the next episode that we're going to publish. It really helps us and motivates us to keep doing this and try and make it a better series. So thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.